This deck is crazy good in Gods Unchained right now. If you're rocking that free-to-play lifestyle or just keen about a killer budget deck, then this video is for you. The free-to-play narrative exists as this deck was a top 10 performer at the last Weekend Ranked event. This deck is still being played in Mythic and now has more than 1,000 games played with this list. So you should know about this budget deck. So this is the deck, and the player who achieved this impressive Weekend Ranked performance is Flabor. He is still currently sitting on a 67% win rate. The deck price is $33, but if we closely look at the cards, there are some core and neutral cards which can be deducted. So the actual price of this deck is more closer to $20. What immediately stands out is that we have 15 1 mana cost cards and only one 6-drop. So this indicates that we want to start fast and go wide on the board. We have our cards that make our creatures sticky, like Holy Writ and Protective Benediction. Add to it Sanctify, Radiant Dawn, and Chaining of the Gods, and finish the deal with Asterius, and you have a winner. So the strategy with this deck is to go wide as possible, buff your creatures and make them stick, make them stronger, and finish the deal. Throughout the game, essentially, you want to have favorable traits and use your buff spells on as many creatures as possible. Easy, right? The buff spells are in synergy. Our creatures need to be below 2 strength to receive it. Only Holy Writ is looking at health, so try to use Holy Writ first. Tidal Prayer is an interesting one. You're gaining an extra sleep. This is also very crucial at times to remove sleep and finish off your opponent. Chaining of the Gods is a flexible tool that you can make your creature stronger and or even make the opponent's creature weaker. Protective Benediction will make your creatures super tanky, and Asterius will make them super strong with his +2/+2 battle cry effect. And don't you sleep on the aggressive superior. Even if you can buff at least 2 creatures, there is a high chance that you're going to win. That would be it from the theory side. I hope you got a good idea about this deck. Let's watch a gameplay video where we showcase the true power of this deck. Even after a full board clear, we can re-establish quickly our board presence, and with enough buffs, no big taunts can stop us. So we're up against Mage. Mages are pretty good dealing with our board with their early spells, though if we can manage to get the board quickly and they don't use spells to remove, rather they try to ramp up, there is a small window, there's a small chance that we can establish the board and buff our creatures, protect our creatures. Having warded creatures or protected creatures always helps, and against Shape Blast it's always nice to have some frontline mixed with your creatures. So regardless that he used a board clear, we quickly manage to get the board. Soon right after, back to back, not looking good, but this is one strength of the deck, that we're able to get the board quickly and fast. It doesn't look good for us now, as we only have 1 creatures and 3 buffs. We need to utilize all the time our god power and making traits, making face damage. We are getting some favors. I was just looking at the favor shop to get some creatures from there. Now we have a choice. We can continue developing the board or try to use one of our spells, our buff spells, to increase the chances of the survival of our creatures. So in this case, in this occasion, we already have 2 creatures with protected. Why am I choosing protected on over another spell is quite interesting, because if you use protected and +1 armor on the creatures, mage with god power cannot resolve, cannot deal with it, so the creatures will have protected unless he uses something else. So now, even though he has a huge creature on the board, we are gonna buff our creatures, we're gonna make our creatures stronger, and we're gonna break through. So even a big creature is not a problem if you have used your buff spells correctly. Now, we don't have protected on our creatures, but Chaining of the Gods is a very versatile tool. Let's see how we're gonna use it this time around. We can manage to get his creature, or we can buff our creatures. In this case, I believe I'm gonna trade out everything and only buff my creatures. I'm super greedy with this line, but I don't mind. I want my creatures to be strong and healthy, to survive demos, to survive shape blasts. This way, 6-7 health, that is good, that is perfect, and he just concedes, he has no answers. If you would like to get more budget deck content, then hit that like button, subscribe, and tell me in the comments which god should I do next. See you guys in the next video.